In Etteringbang, we got you covered. Digicel, better together.
Right now, children are at an increased risk of sexual abuse, and the perpetrator can be nearer than you think. So stay alert and be aware. Be aware of your neighbors. Be aware of your friends. Be aware of the people you have in your home. Do not become complacent. Protect children now. You can make a report to the police or call the CPA hotline on 2270979.
A message from the Child Care and Protection Agency, Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, and UNICEF.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good day, welcome to your news at noon on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. Preliminary CSEC results revealed that an Anna Regina Secondary School student, Ramal Babulal, topped the country with 27 subjects, 24 being grade 1s and 3 grade 2s. Coming in second was Otam Hiralal, also of Anna Regina Secondary, who wrote 25 subjects and gained 24 grade 1s and 1 grade 2. In third is Anna Regina Secondary School's Daniel Dowding with 22 1s and 3 2s. Meanwhile, Bidesh Prasad of Queen's College gained 14 grade 1s and 1 grade 2 at this year's CAPE. Prasad was also a top performer in the lower 6th form and earlier at CSEC. Vish Kistama of Berbice High secured grade 1 passes in 10 units and a grade 2 in 1 unit. And in other news, in an existing and binding contract between Guyana and ExxonMobil, the world agrees that the country was cheated. To avoid a similar fate in the agreement to transport natural gas from the Eliza fields in the Stabroek Block to Wales, stakeholders in Guyana believe citizens should see the contract before government attaches its signature, especially since they will ultimately be required to repay the project costs, likely to reach $2 billion. Interested stakeholders, too, have not been allowed an opportunity to share their concerns or suggestions regarding the project, except at brief consultations hosted by Exxon on the environmental aspect of the project. And Guyanese working in the oil and gas industry continue to beg local authorities to pay more attention to their working conditions, claiming exploitative measures are being implemented by some support companies in securing their services. Many workers from different contracting services have complained bitterly to labor unions and even to Kaieteur News about payment and other work-related inadequacies. The most recent complaint came just days ago when President of the National Mines Workers Union of Guyana, Sherwin Downer, said that workers from a support services company with whom they previously had grievances was again circumventing labor laws that allowed them to secure workers' services while ditching their responsibility to the staffers. And the Guyana Medical Council has issued a warning about an imposter in its fraternity and appealed to members of the public in an advertisement to be on high alert. According to the advertisement, the Medical Council said Ms. Kavita Singh, also known as Nanda Gopal, has been posing as a medical doctor when she is not. The council said the woman has never sought an application at the council to practice in the field of medicine. Using the foregoing pseudonyms, as well as Geeta Kisoon, Joanna Gray, Juan Singh, and Juan Craig, the woman is said to have a history of scamming countless persons desirous of joining the medical field. As a result, she has had many encounters with the police. And I'll just tell you, since it is the government's intent to not renegotiate the 2016 Stabroek Block production sharing agreement and instead seek to claw back value through mechanisms like the local content legislation, industry stakeholders therefore suggest that care be taken in how fast offshore field development takes place. Essentially, going too fast could undermine the goals of the legislation. This advice was recently offered by Trinidadian energy strategist Anthony Paul. Speaking on the pace of development, Paul reasoned that if it is the country's intention to achieve its local content goals, build capacity and maximize value, then a fast-paced development undermines this. According to Ghana's local content law, there are a set of specific goals to ensure citizens are in the driver's seat of the industry. And moving on, 3 years after being committed to stand trial in the High Court for the murder of businessman Godfrey Scipio, called Saga, ex-convict Aubrey Bob on Monday pleaded guilty to the crime. 30-year-old Bob admitted to the charge, which stated that on October 27, 2017, he murdered Scipio in the course or furtherance of a robbery. It was reported that Scipio was shot in the chest as he was leaving a city hotel. The businessman later succumbed at the Woodlands Hospital. Scipio had been selling at the Berbice car park for several years and was known for wearing lots of gold jewelry. Meanwhile, the Bank of Ghana, in its report on the performance of the country in the first 3 months of 2022, had estimated that by year-end, inflation would reach 4.1%. Inflation is the rate of increase in prices over a given period of time. In the first few months of the year, inflation of 1.7% had already occurred. However, now the Ministry of Finance, in its mid-year report, has revised this estimate up. It is now expected that full-year inflation will be 5.8%. This 5.8% full-year inflation rate is even higher than last year's inflation rate of 5.7%. And to wrap things up, in the first half of 2022, the government expended $8.1 billion of the $12.4 billion allocated to further develop the housing sector. This is reflected in the mid-year report released by the Ministry of Finance over the weekend. According to the report, of $11 billion allocated to continue infrastructure works in the Central Housing and Planning Authority for housing areas, the sum of $7.4 billion was spent so far. And of course, as usual, we wrap things up with page 7 of today's Kaieteur News, dedicated to being blunt. Guyanese government is cheerleader for foreign corporate predators. Guyanese say harsh words against foreign corporate predators, and Guyana governments are the biggest cheerleaders for the foreigners. Take a tough stand against the same foreign corporate predators, and government after government in Guyana are the biggest defenders of the foreigners who exploit our riches on the cheap, even on the sly. The coalition did its share of the cheerleading and defending, but the PPPC government is in a class all by itself where the foreigners are concerned. The PPPC government and its leaders declare war on Guyanese for daring to point out opportunities to pressure the foreigners. Both don't want to hear anything that makes companies from A, B, C, E, and other countries uneasy or uncomfortable. Our governments have preferred to disown us, distance from us, and deny our hopes, destroy our dreams. And all of it is to make the foreign corporate predators happy and exploit us some more. Guyanese, when is there going to be enough anger to run the locals out of office and the foreigners out of our town?
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.